Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Knife Delights. We got another fantastic Saturday chat. I have the one and only Nice Slice. That's right. He is a channel that I'm just getting to know. We've talked back and forth a little bit in some emails, but he's one of those channels from the Great White North. And this is what's so fantastic about the knife community is how borders don't seem to matter. We all share our passion for knives, and it's great to get to know Pete here from Nice Slice. So, Pete, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Hello there, Nice Slice here, coming at you from the Great White North in beautiful British Columbia. That's how I start all my videos. So, like Tom said, we've been emailing each other back and forth. I started watching Tom's videos probably less than a year ago, and I've learned so much from those videos along with others. And I'm just very, very happy that he invited me on to his chat here today. So, let's talk knives.
Let's talk some knives. We are knife channels, right?
That's right.
All right. So, I think one of the most pressing topics right now. I notice that you do have your fair share of Ontario Knife Company knives, and because of the recent news, it's a real bummer that they're being shut down here at the end of July and will no longer be in existence. And what are your thoughts on this, Pete?
I think the knife community is losing a lot of value and tradition there. I mean, Ontario makes some of the best values for your dollar that you can get. I mean, I have an RTAC too. I haven't done a review on that, but what a beast of a knife that is. That thing will never let you down.
Yeah.
They just have such a wide variety as well. You know, they do military, they do survival, they do camping. They just had such a wide variety of knives. It was very impressive. So,
I always thought that they were a very basic knife. They were affordable.
yes.
But with that 1095 carbon steel, you could really sharpen them up too.
Oh,
I mean, they would slice, wouldn't they?
absolutely. I have my RTAC for a big 10-inch blade on. That's the 5160 steel, but I can shave my arm with that one.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah. I guess I'm talking more about the like their. Well, I'll bring this up on the big screen here, but this one here, which is
Oh,
the 5.5 inch hunting knife, and it's basically just a cut down butcher knife.
right.
So this basic knife, a couple inches longer, I think that was in my parents' drawer. I'm pretty sure it was an old hickory knife in there, and there's a lot of people all have talked about their memories of using the old hickory knife in the kitchen and that. But these make wonderful hunting knives. You can skin with it, and of course, with the big wide belly, it's good for processing meat and such. And I want to say, and I don't know the current prices. I know I paid under $35 for it. I can't remember what it was. Came with a basic leather sheath,
Yes.
nothing fancy, but it works. And that's what I liked about it. And these were the 1095. You did have to watch. They will rust if you don't take care of them. But boy, they are slicers. You can sharpen these babies up sharp.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Tom, it's funny you that one because I brought mine along as well, right? You know,
Well, let's see it. Let me bring it up here. Okay.
so there we have it. I have the exact same knife.
Yep.
This, when I'm hunting and camping, this is my kitchen knife.
Yep. Oh,
And
absolutely.
it's lightweight. You know, you can carry it all day. You don't even know it's there. Throw it in your
Yeah.
back. And mine is starting to take a very nice patina.
Yep.
The color is starting to come through. I just love it. And it is sharp, sharp. And the logo on the blade, I don't know if anybody's familiar with that, but it's fantastic with the, what does it say there? True Edge Ontario Knife Company.
Right. Yeah.
A basic sheath, but it does the job. And mine was $20, right? I got
Yeah.
it.
That's what I'm saying. When I said 35, I think that was way high. I want to say it was between 20 and 25, maybe, or
You,
maybe even less than that. I don't remember,
you
but
can pick one up right now, Tom, for roughly $24, $25.
yeah. Okay. That sounds right.
I will point out, Tom, that I pay a little more north of the border, our dollar is worth, American dollar is $1.30 Canadian. So
Right.
I
Yep.
add 30% on top of everything, right?
Sure.
So
Sure. You
I
bet.
take consideration when I buy new knives. So I don't know if anybody's familiar with my channel, you know that I hate to pay full retail, and I'm always looking for a deal at the flea market.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. You bet. I
Yeah.
am too. I don't hit many flea markets, but I hit a lot of antique stores,
Yes.
and
Yep.
I just find lots of wonderful knives there. Very, very inexpensive.
You know, I will barter with people at retail stores, like the big box stores. I think we know who I'm talking about. The big
Yep.
C there, right? Because
Yep.
the prices are so inflated that I just refuse to pay their full price, and I will haggle with them. And you know,
Mm-hmm.
it works.
Yeah.
Because they're
Yep.
still going to make a buck if they drop. You know, I won't pay taxes. You know, don't charge me the tax.
Yeah.
And they're still
Yeah.
making money on that, and I feel like I got a deal. So you know,
It's a win-win.
yep, absolutely. But I do find a gem every once in a while at the flea market. As a matter of fact, I just got this one last week, Tom. I haven't done a review on it. I haven't seen it.
Okay, let me bring it up here. Okay.
A buck 549. It's a
Oh wow.
fillet knife, right?
Yeah.
And this thing is mint. I don't think it was ever even used. It's fantastic. I'm going to do a review on this. This was the same fellow who lent me that old Opinel that I did my video
Oh
with.
yeah, we need to talk about that here in a minute. That's
Yeah.
terrific. But
Oh, you know what? I didn't bring it with me. It's upstairs.
oh no, well we can still talk about it a little bit. But yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah. So this knife, for example, I paid $20 for it. You know, Canadian. So
Canadian, yeah. So yeah,
you're looking
16,
at
17 US. Yeah.
so that's the kind of deal that's out there. That's just
Yep.
fantastic.
Yeah, I found some good ones. Before we forget, why don't you tell? I know you don't have the knife with you. I think most people are familiar with the Opinel knives, but you just recently did a video where I guess he's kind of your main hookup at the flea market for used knives,
Yes, that's
and yeah, he's kind of your secret source. What did he do for you recently?
well, you know, I was there and I was purchasing. I bundled up a few knives because that's the best way to buy them.
Sure.
And I noticed in his case he had an old Opinel, and normally his Opinels are in a bucket and they say $5, right? Or if they're in really good shape, it says $10.
Right.
But this one was in his glass case, and I said, "What is that? Why is that in there?" And he goes, "Do you know what that is?" I said, "Well, it's an Opinel." He goes, "Have a close look," and there was no metal collar locking ring on it. I said, "What is going on here? That is an old knife." So he took it out and he showed it to me, and the wear on that knife was unbelievable. Somebody's been sharpening that thing for 50 years. It's obvious.
Right.
You know, I said, "What do you want for this?" I said, "It's in your case. You know, let's talk." And he said, "No, that's not for sale because it makes people talk. It's a talking point for my customers." I said, "Okay, I understand. Absolutely."
Yep.
And he said, he knows who I am. He says, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll lend it to you. You do a review on it, just bring it back." And I said, "Deal," you know? So
And
that
that's
was pretty awesome.
fantastic. Yep.
So I'll be going down there this Sunday to return it to him and see what else he's got in the case.
Yeah. Yeah. So everyone head over to Knice Slice and check out that. That was a cool video. What was it? Mid 50s or so when they started putting the ring around it. The collar.
1955. 1950.
55. And so
ring around the collar. Huh?
right. So this one was prior to 55.
Yes.
Yeah.
And still
So
opens and closes smooth as butter. Right. That blade has no play in it, no give at all. Just a well built, inexpensive working man's knife.
yeah. So head over to Knice Slice, and while you're there, hit that subscribe button. I noticed that you've just went over 400 subs. You're at about 408 subs. Congratulations! That shows you've been working hard.
Thanks, Tom. I owe that to my fellow reviewers that give me a shout out once in a while, and I think that sends people my way. You know, I don't know if you noticed, but I never really ask for subscribers when I do my videos.
Right.
If they want to subscribe, they will, whether I ask
Right.
or not. So I do appreciate it, though. Don't get me wrong.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For me, it's all about the knife, right? So,
Yeah. I haven't done it in a while. Every now and then I'll hey, if you're liking the video, please remember to hit the like and
Sure.
subscribe. Every now and then I'll do that, but I've found pretty much if they want to subscribe, they're going to. You don't really need to have to ask them, but every now and then it doesn't hurt. But I appreciate every subscriber. I appreciate every viewer, whether they subscribe or not. If they stopped by the channel and watched a video and left a comment, that just means the world, and I'm sure it does to you too.
Well, isn't that true, Tom? If we had a subscriber for every view, we'd be sitting at hundreds of thousands.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what
It's funny.
What made you start a YouTube channel then?
Well, it's funny because a few years ago, I ended up having some surgery. I had to have my elbow reconstructed from a workplace accident. And I was on my couch a lot, and I didn't really do any online shopping or anything prior to that. And I discovered the world of online knife stores. And I thought, wow, it just blew my mind that all the different knives that were out there and all the different vendors and retailers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to learn about one specific knife, and it was the Bark River Bravo 1.
Okay.
It had a green forest camo handle on it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hunting rifle that has a forest green camo stock on it. I thought, wouldn't that be fantastic?
What a pair, yeah.
Right. So
who says men can't accessorize, right?
So I did quickly discover that I can't afford a Bark River. Not at this point, anyhow.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I hear you.
I did discover knife reviews online. That's how I discovered it. I thought, wow, this is awesome. So I think it was in 2021, I did an unboxing of a buck knife that I got from Copper and Clad.
Oh, there's a place that's gotten more than one of my dollars.
Yes,
yeah.
Oh yes. They do have some good deals sometimes, though, and
they do.
They have some unique knives. So maybe hard to find. I don't know. There's some that I've only ever seen there.
Yeah.
I haven't seen them.
They do a lot of custom bucks, I know.
Yeah, a lot of exclusive stuff, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That first video was a 2-minute video, and it was at my kitchen table, and I had Son of Slice holding my phone for me. He was my cameraman. And that's where Kitchen Table Studios comes from. I don't know if watches my videos to the end, right to the end. It always says brought to you by Kitchen Table Studios.
Yeah.
I mention it in my videos. It's just a little funny thing because I do all my videos from the kitchen table. So
yeah, hey.
And that's how it started. A little quick 2-minute unboxing video, and it just sort of rolled out from there.
Well, I think you'll hear it from me and many others. To me, well, it's not a secret, but the point of this is be yourself.
Yeah.
You can watch other channels and see how they do things, and you can pick up tips. And I'm not saying you have to totally disregard all the other channels, and you can incorporate some of their stuff, but just don't try to be that other channel. Be yourself. That's what makes it so interesting. That's why I can review a buck 110 and someone will watch my video, and you review a buck 110 and they'll watch yours, even though it's the same knife, because you've got your own style of how you do it. And that's what makes all of this work and what it's so wonderful. And speaking of sharing knives or knife reviews, would you like to share some news about? We have what we call the traveling knife down here in the States, but something's been started up north there. You want to talk about that?
Tom, I think you're onto something there, because if you watch another one of my fellow Canucks does a review, the Singing Toad from back east, he's on the other end of the country, and he does some fantastic stuff. He's got a great sense of humor.
Yes.
He's very diligent about the info he puts out there. And he saw your traveling knife, and he decided that he would like to start up the Cross Canada knife. So he reached out to fellow Canadian reviewers, and I answered the call and said, hey, I'd be more than happy to participate in this. It'd be my pleasure to do it. And so he is sending me a knife. It's in the mail right now. on its way here. So with Canada Post is our mail company up north here.
Sure.
So it could either take 3 days or 3 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hopefully it makes it here.
I know how that goes.
So yeah, that the knife when it gets here, I know Singing Toad has already done a review on it, and it's a little Remington folder. It was in a commemorative tin,
right?
And it looks great. It's a good looking knife. So
it does look like a great knife, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yep. And then there's a couple other channels, and I will be sending it along to one of them, and then hopefully they pass it along, and it'll cross this great country of Canada, and we'll all put our spin on it. And by the end, it'll be worn down to a nub because we're all going to slice paper with it.
Yep.
Yep.
I think it's terrific to see the Canadian channels getting together, because you can listen, here in the States, and you can listen to us and talk about this and that, but you have different laws up there that you have to deal with knives. Some knives you can't get. I think if you guys could really get banded together and start doing things like this and doing your own lives with, fellow Canadian channels and that, I think you'd build a very, very big Canadian following, I think, because you can discuss Canada specific issues. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we do have a little bit, I don't want to say stricter rules, but we do have rules regarding like automatic knives. We can't have those at all.
Right.
No butterfly knives. They don't like I couldn't have a gravity knife,
Yep.
Basically we're not supposed to have anything that can open with centrifugal force, like a flipper knife, but they do sell them here. But
yeah,
it's sticky. If you want to bring one across the border, they might just keep it and let you go through.
Sure.
So
sure.
Even though I can go down to the store and buy one here, so I don't really understand that.
Yeah.
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 I mean,
no rhyme or reason sometimes.
Even an automatic knife, Tom, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to carry one.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. That's right.
We'll all live by them, right? So
yeah. But I'm just thinking, and I've been blessed to get some gifted knives from a Canadian, Stuart Harvey. He sent me several knives. Some of them were Canada Tire exclusive knives.
Yes, I have a few of those on the table.
Yeah, but if you guys get yourselves organized up there, I don't monitor Canada Tires to see if they've got a sale on bucks or something. You know what I'm saying? Where you guys are paying attention to that up there, and that's kind of what I'm saying. You guys get that all coordinated, and I think you'd really build your community up there.
I think we could as well, Tom. So we'll be working on that. And you speak Canadian Tire exclusives. Like I have a Buck 110 Slim that has the nail nick on it because that was built for Canadian retail. Because one-handed opener, right? I mean,
right.
It doesn't have the thumb studs. I don't see it on the table in front of me, but I do have that. That's just a perfect example. But then I have other made exclusively for Canadian Tire knives that do have the thumb studs on them. So it's just a crapshoot sometimes of what you're going to get there. But they do, when they put their knives on sale, they put them on sale.
Yeah.
I know Singing Toad is a fan of the Buck Kingsman, and I have one myself.
Let's take a look at that. I'll bring you up here. Okay.
Just has the hole for one-handed open, like I said, and the model number on this one is the 311, the Kingsman.
The 311. Okay.
It is fantastic knife. It has steel.
I'm trying to look here. Does it have a pretty big belly on that blade?
It is a nice belly on there for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And I picked this up, Tom, for $9 Canadian. It was on sale, right? Regular sale price of Canadian Tire was, I think, $40 at the time, and I picked it up for $9.
That's a steal. Yeah.
I got 5 of them and gave them as gifts, right?
Oh yeah. I mean,
the steel is 420 J, and it's not the hardest steel in the world. I do sharpen it quite a bit, but it sharpens in minutes, right?
Yeah.
So never minded having to sharpen my knives. That's not a problem for me. So,
right. Yeah, those are made overseas because, like the ones from overseas we get here, a lot of them are in 420J,
Yes,
420J2
kind of.
or something like that. Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
now some of
J2.
them come 420HC, but
Yeah,
most of them are J2. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I know.
yeah.
You reviewed this one not long ago. This is the Matrix.
Oh no, now that's going to give me nightmares. Can you believe what I did?
Tom, you turned the clip point into a drop point. That's all you.
Oh
Right?
man,
You performed
I
a little
felt
bit of.
sick to my stomach.
There's an example of a high quality, high value knife for very little money up here.
Yeah.
And the 420 HC steel, right? And
Hmm.
it, with the liners, fantastic knife.
Yeah. For anyone that didn't see it, I was reviewing that knife the other day, and I was trying to shift around back behind around the tripod and move and reset, and that knife slipped right out of my hands and right down onto my concrete floor, and I put a ding in it, and oh man, I felt sick to my stomach. But
That's just character, Tom.
now it has character. That's right. I think Tobias, knife chats with Tobias. Oh, what did he? I said something back to him. Now I can have a scratch and dent sale, I guess. But,
Yeah.
but
So that the Buck imports are just one example of a good quality, inexpensive knife. I don't know if you've heard me say it before on my channels. I don't like to use the word budget because everybody's budget is different. If
that's
you
true. Yeah, that's a good point.
knife, that's your budget. If you got $1,400 to spend, then that's your budget.
Yeah.
I don't, I do understand what budget means, but I'd like to say inexpensive when it comes
Yeah.
to that. And here's another example, and Tom, this goes back to Ontario again. I've had this knife for a couple of years now. This is the Rat 1 with the D2 steel. And this, I got it on sale for 40 Canadian dollars. And this is just a superb everyday carry knife. It's a little bit big.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big guy, so it fits me pretty well. And I use it all the time. I do a lot of short videos with this because it just happens to be in my pocket. And when inspiration hits me and I'm out, I do a video, right? So
Yep. Yep.
this one, I put
I've
a little lanyard on Joker's.
Sure.
That's genuine Schmuckatelli lanyard bead there.
Okay. Okay.
That's, I mean, if
Yeah.
anyone's interested in lanyard bead, Schmuckatelli makes some fantastic ones.
Okay.
I believe they're out of Pennsylvania. That's where I ordered them from.
All right.
So check
Yeah,
them.
I've heard lots of good things about the Rat 1, and I've held one and almost bought it, and I didn't because I bought a buck knife. Imagine that.
Yep.
And then I never went back to get that one. I don't know if it's still available, but I've always heard good things about it.
You can still get them. I also have my Rat 2, which is a little bit smaller.
Okay.
And this one, I put custom covers on it from EDC Gearworks, I think is the name of the company. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. I apologize. I just can't think of it off the top of my head at the moment. But these are carbon fiber handles. I did a video on that. But this is a D2 blade as well. And another super high value knife, right?
Yep.
For what I paid. And this was another flea market find for me. I paid $20 for this knife.
Yep.
Right? Canadian. So the deals are out there.
Yep. They are. They are. That's like with the antique store, and I found the secret to that is when I can, try to hit them like once a week. And a lot of times I don't buy anything, but
Right?
you just got to be there at the right time at the right place at the right time.
Absolutely.
And it's just you got to frequently check them and see did they put something out new, And I've had a lot of good luck and bought a lot of good knives, cheap. Yep.
I can't remember if it was because I watch Boston Blade reviews. I watch Big J's. I watch
Mm-hmm.
Ed EDC and Jersey Knife Guy. I love his.
Oh
channel.
yeah.
And
Yep.
what I remember if it was Jersey or Boston that just got the 2 limited edition 110s from his knife store that he goes to, and the guy gave him a smoking deal on these 2 knives.
Yeah, I think it was Boston. Yeah.
It was Boston, yeah. So he got a exceptional price on those 2 knives. They were both limited editions and fantastic. So, that's part of building relationships. So that guy, those knives are going to a good home, right? So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you do, but my collection shrinks and grows all the time because I do sell my knives. I don't hang on to all the ones I have because I just can't use them all. When I first channel, I used to say I use all my knives because I did then, but now I have way too
Right.
many to use them all. But I do sell them. Like I'm kind of kicking myself now, but a couple months ago I sold my OKC Marine Raider Bowie,
Uh-huh.
and a fellow bought a buck 110 because he didn't have a buck 110, so I sold him one of mine. And
Mm-hmm.
back of my car, he goes, "What's that?" I said, "Well, that's my OKC SP10 Marine Raider Bowie." And he goes, "Wow, that's awesome." I said, "Well, let's talk." So, and this fellow's gotten into collecting knives as well. So now he's well on his way.
Yep.
I gave him a good price on it because, frankly, I wasn't using the knife at the time.
Yeah.
Well, I use my Rat 2 or my RTAC 2 more than anything now.
Sure.
So gave him a good price on that knife, and now hopefully I will have a chance to get another one. But I see the prices on those has gone up as well, just like everything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I believe I paid 134 Canadian for my RTAC 2, and the store I bought it from, I just saw that is now up to 174. So it's gone up quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And eventually they're going to sell out and you won't be able to replace it unless you were saying Blue Ridge Knives has taken over OKC.
Well, I guess they bought the company and probably bought the rights to the company.
Yeah.
I don't see them having any OKC knives made in the United States. I'm sure they'll, like whoever owns Camillus and Schrade and all of those, they'll outsource them, overseas. They could possibly maybe go with like Bear and Son or something like that company and have them make, but I don't really see that happening.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do there. I know it's like when Cold Steel got sold, and they're
Yeah.
a big GSM company now. So, I've heard good things and bad things about some of the new Cold Steel products. So hopefully the OKC name can still outlast the sale of the company. We'll see, Tom.
Sure. Now that's interesting you bring up Cold Steel because I think originally they had their knives manufactured in Japan.
Yes.
And they switched to Taiwan.
Yep.
And then they went to China. So it's nothing new that GSM, is having them made in China. That's not new.
No.
So I just wonder about if there's been a change in quality. I've not heard of any. I mean, I'm a fan of Cold Steel knives. I don't have a lot of them, but I am a fan of them, and someday hope to get more. Let's see. I had a point here somewhere. Oh my goodness, where was my point? I don't know. I'll have to get back to it. My point just slipped my mind, but yeah, it was always shocking news when you see a company being sold.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what my point is. I remember Lynn talking about by selling the company to GSM, they had more access to more retailers. In other words, they could distribute better. And I have noticed in local sporting goods stores and some of our farm supply stores, I am seeing the Cold Steel knives there, and you did not see them there before.
There you go, right? So
that, I guess that was my point, is it did make a difference as far as distribution.
Sure. Yep. And for a company like that, they put it out there and they'll make the money because people will buy them because it's there, right?
Right.
It's already
because GSM can bundle a whole bunch. We want to put 50 Cold Steel knives plus 50 whatever knives plus 50 whatever knives in your store.
Yes.
And they can bundle a whole package that way.
Yes, and they get the name recognition. If they just put GSM on the blade, it's nobody. I've never heard of them, but you put
Right.
Cold Steel. I want a Cold Steel, right? So
yep.
It's like K-Bar, owned by Cutco.
Like K-Bar, yep.
And Cutco is a good knife on its own, right? But now the K-Bar is made by Cutco.
Sure.
I've heard that the Marine fighting knives are not what they used to be. So
probably not. Yeah.
I had one. I had the Kraton handle. I didn't do a video on it, but I sold that one to a fellow too because I got a big K-Bar large heavy Bowie given to me, and I just said, yeah, you know what? And I got rid of that K-Bar fighting knife because I picked up the Buck GCK spear point, which far.
Oh, wow.
In my opinion, this is like my favorite knife.
Oh, I want to see that. Let me get that pulled up here. Oh my goodness.
So for me, this exceeds the K-bar by leaps and bounds.
Can you pull it out for us?
So this is the Tanto. I do have a spear point as well,
Yeah.
but this is a full tang piece of 5160, so tough as nails. Machine G10 handle. So the purchase you get on that is unbelievable. That's never coming out of your hand, no matter what.
I have wanted one of those in the worst way, and I just never did get around to getting one.
Oh, that's unfortunate, Tom. Keep your eye out. You know, Buck did a sprint run on the Tanto earlier this year.
Did they? Okay.
Reasonably priced. It was, I believe, it was 114 US dollars for this knife.
Okay. Yeah.
But, the green micarta handle on that one. But that
I know they had one in. Originally, they had one in Coyote Tan,
yes,
and that's the one I wanted.
And in the tricolor.
Yeah.
The one I really wanted, but they sold out too fast, and they were very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
This one, you know, the big store Cabela's, Tom, they put this on clearance for 99 Canadian dollars, so I jumped on it.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, why wouldn't you? You bet.
Yeah. So that made it easier to get rid of my K-bar, because for me, the K-bar growing up, you know, even us Canadians, you watch the war movies and the history of the Marines, and they're all carrying K-bars, you know, and that was the knife to have, because it's so cool with that big clip point and the fuller. You know, some people call it the blood groove. I always call it the fuller, but they had the stack handle. It was just fantastic, right? So,
yeah, I always remind people, maybe I say it too often, but even the K-bar with the stacked leather, that all originated from a marbles knife back in the early 1900s.
okay.
Marbles was the first one to come out with stacked leather, and the quote modern hunting knife that you would think of all is based off of that marbles design. And even the K-bar and all the other fighting knives and all this and that, it's basically a clone or a copy of that original marbles knife.
Sure.
And marbles just really revolutionized the hunting knife industry.
Nice. Yeah. Your videos on, and Tom, your knowledge you pass on about the history of some of these companies is just awesome, right? I've learned so much watching your channel, and also another fellow who has such deep knowledge of certain knife makers is the Kirby Creek outfit.
Oh,
that man, he knows the stuff when it comes to
weapons.
And
KCO, he's my buddy, man. I marvel at his editing skills, the professionalism of his videos and the music, and then once you get past and you get that all absorbed, you look at his knife skills, his knife handling skills.
Right. Yeah.
That man has some talent, doesn't he?
He is truly skilled artist for sure.
Hats off to KCO, man. Yeah.
Vision to make it happen, right? First you got to visualize it, then you got to do it. But yeah. We talk about his editing skills. I don't know if you've seen the one where he's going to shave with his buck fro, and he tracks down the wild shaving cream.
Yeah.
Oh, that one had me rolling on the floor, busting a gut, I'll tell you. Yeah. He does some awesome videos.
Yeah, folks, for all of you who are listening here, Kirby Creek Outfit, you've got to check his channel out. And I can't remember the name of the organization. It's the name like Yay Long, but it's basically an organization, and they put out a yearly challenge. And for those participating in the challenge, they have to choose one knife, and then every month they're given a task or a skill to use that knife to complete. And they have to, of course, there's specifications on that, what the finished product has to look like or what it needs to do or whatever. And so he always participates in that, and some of the things he does, it's just mind-blowing to me. I mean, I'm proud of myself, and I want my picture in the paper in recognition that I was able to whittle a marshmallow stick or a hot dog stick to throw
Right.
over the campfire, right? That's success to me.
I know.
But
We talked one time and I was remarking on his skill and I told him, the family and I went camping a couple weeks ago and I tried to carve a spoon and I had a whole week to do it. And what I ended up with was a spatula. Right?
oh boy, that's funny.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
but he does some wonderful stuff and he has a very nice collection of knives himself. Right. So
yes, he sure does.
anybody
He sure does.
channel, check it out. It's the Kirby Creek outfit. And I'm sure you'll love his content just as much as I do and Tom does.
Yep. I sure do. Yeah.
Speak on traditional knives as well. And, I said I hadn't really had any traditional knives. I did, we talked and I said that for 20 years, all I carried was my Buck 450.
Right.
At work, I worked at a freight company. I worked in the warehouse. I drove truck for 30 years.
Yeah.
This was my go-to knife for 20 of those years. And
Yeah.
I wore it out, man. I broke the tip off this blade. Buck put a new blade on there for me. And I just wore this knife out. And then
that's one nice thing about Buck, isn't it?
yes,
Their warranty service. And
my flea market guy had a mint one. And I found this a few months ago and I replaced it.
terrific.
Yeah, it was awesome. I was so happy when I saw that. So I did, when I started getting traditionals, I got a few different varieties. I got a couple of cases. I have the yellow handle trapper.
Sure.
This is, I know Case has some wonderful wood and some wonderful bone handles, but for me, the yellow handled Case, that is the knife to have. Because
you go. Yep.
That's my dad's knife, and you throw it in your pocket and you don't care. You don't worry about scuffing it up because this knife.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. So fantastic. I have my abalone. This is a kissing crane knife.
Oh, that's nice.
I do have a large Bowie knife made by Kissing Crane by a knife maker named Robert Kloss, German knife.
Okay.
And this is real abalone. Fantastic knife, that one. I do have one Frost knife. I have never done a review on this one. This is I think it's called saddle horn handle.
Saddle horn is what I was thinking. Yeah.
And this is the Black Hills model. This is a fantastic little knife there. Frost.
What blades does it have? Does it have a clip blade and
a clip?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's stainless steel on this one, and it also has, I don't know what you call that, Tom. Is that a California clip?
Kind of, sort of.
Let's see if we can get that in.
I don't know.
It's an interesting knife shape. It is canted down a bit.
Okay, here's the secret. Say modified and name whatever blade shape you want. That's a modified Tanto, right?
It's a modified clip drop. Yeah.
As long as you put modified in front of it, you're covered. That's the secret. So, that's an interesting blade shape, though.
And then the family and I, we went on a European vacation last summer, and I brought home a couple of European-made knives. This is a little Linder.
Oh, nice.
This is a fantastic little knife as well. I mean, it's dainty and it's fancy, but it has look at the slimness on that.
Whoa. That's almost like a melon tester.
Yeah, I call this the fruit knife, the fruit and cheese knife. This is what someone would have in their pocket and get ready to have lunch, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And this company is out of business as well. Linder had a long history in Europe there. So
I've heard the name.
I think they were out of the city of Zollingen as well, right?
Okay.
It's either the city of knives or the city of steel in Germany there.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So I do have a few traditional knives in my collection now.
Now, when we were talking earlier, before we started recording here, you said you were kind of mostly into the modern knives, and that's only recently you kind of got into some of the slip joints and the traditional?
Yeah, when I started watching reviewing channels, I just started to fall in love with the simplicity of them. Well, because they're not simple. I mean, they're simple designs, but they're not simple products. I mean, if I had to make one, I wouldn't know how to.
Right.
but just the design and the fact that the design that was made hundreds of years ago still is relevant today just blows. I mean, knife makers are always trying to come up with something new, a new product, a new lock that nobody else has, or you know, the steels that come out now, all the CPMs and the alphabet soup steels that come out, and you know, a new modern steel is always a great thing, but there's nothing wrong with 440C.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, I do. What did I have? Okay, Tom. So here, I did a short video with this one a while ago, but this is an old 2.110
Nice. Yeah.
square bolsters, and this one I purchased from an old fellow across the river from me here,
Right.
and it has seen some use. This knife, it's all chewed up on the handles. There's even somebody's name and a date engraved on this one handle scale.
Yeah.
Was practicing or carving. I don't know if they put a notch in there for every deer they skinned with this knife. I don't know, but this 440C blade, and it has seen some life, but it is still rock solid. I mean, it's 40 years old and it's still good to go. And this is the 440C steel, and it's shaving sharp very easily.
Yep.
So
I don't know. I did
to the quality of the knife, right? So
right. I did a video called the Buck 110, A Brother's Story. I don't know if you had a chance to catch that one or not.
I did.
A good friend of mine, his brother passed away, and so he kind of inherited his brother's Buck 110. And this was, I guess his brother got it sometime back in the 90s. I don't remember the year on it, or maybe the 80s even. But I mean, that knife was chewed up, worn out, just, you would almost say the blade was gone on it, you know?
Yes.
And he had talked to me about it and showed it to me one time. I said, well, you know, you can send that into Buck, get the blade replaced. They can, you know, for $10, they can refurbish, spot treatment, polish, you know, and everything. And he did. He sent them in. He sent it in, and then he had them on the new blade. Had him, I think, engrave his brother's name on the new blade. And then he requested on the request sheet to have the old blade returned back with it.
Yes.
So that the blade would still be with it. But Buck just did a fabulous job refurbishing that knife. And, you know, what can you do for $10, you know, to get a brand new blade?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what they charged me to replace the blade on my old 450.
Yeah.
$10. I thought, yeah, of course, right? Let's do it. So,
but if you don't need the blade replaced, the spot treatment, they'll sharpen it, give it a factory edge, you know, buff out everything and this and that for $8. $8.
Yeah. I did consider that with this 110, Tom, but then I put it and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to leave it as is because
that's sometimes it's
up, and that's the way it deserves to stay in my mind. So
it's got its character that way.
I did purchase an old Buck 192 Vanguard at a gun show one time. I went to the Historical Arms Society of British Columbia. They have monthly shows at a small community hall that I go to, and it's basically just a bunch of old timers getting together and showing off all their old gear. But this guy had a Buck 192 and it was in rough shape, and I got it for a very good price. I think he sold it to me for $40, and I sent it into Buck for the spot treatment. It was like a brand new blade when I got it back.
Yeah. They do phenomenal work there.
I ended up selling that one too, Tom, just so you know.
I think I saw a video here a while back. I think the guy that works in the custom shop, he's been there like 30 or 40 years or something like that. Yeah. I mean, he knows Buck knives.
They let him do some designs this year.
Yep.
And put out some pretty awesome exclusives, man. I couldn't jump on any of them, unfortunately, but you never know. They do sprint runs once in a while where they say, hey, you know, this one sold pretty well, so let's throw it out there again, right? And that I meant to bring that up when we were talking about the GCK, because I had the Tanto, and if you keep your eye out, they may do another sprint run on the Spear Point.
Yeah, I kind of wanted the Spear Point. Yeah.
Oh, you have one?
No, I said that's what I wanted was a Spear Point. Yeah.
That's my favorite out of the two. I love the Spear Point. It's an awesome knife. So, yeah, I carry that when I hunt just in case of, like in my video I said, rabbit, squirrels. You never know when one's going to jump on you, right? So
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I know how that goes.
Yeah.
Um, actually, Case has got me going down their rabbit hole right now. I got to shake loose of that and get back to my bucks. But
Yes. Well, Case
um,
some pretty nice fixed blades themselves, you know.
oh
So
yes, they do. They
yeah.
sure do. Yeah. Uh, I won't ask you what your favorite one is because you can. When someone asks me that, I can never pick a favorite. But of your traditional knife patterns, are there some of those patterns you're kind of gravitating to? Like I see you've got a couple trappers there. Are
Yeah.
you interested in the canoes or in the toothpicks or
I have one canoe. I have a buck canoe. That's the only
okay?
I have. The toothpicks, I don't have any of those at the moment. I do really, really like the single bladed uh, folding knives. So
Okay.
I just bought this one this year. This is the Saunter. This is the most modern buck slip joint that I own.
I've heard good things about that knife.
Yeah, a fantastic knife, and I put a little lanyard on that one myself there with the buck anvil. I don't know if you can see that,
I can. Yep.
but you know this is a single blade. I mean, you can't use two blades at once on a knife. I mean, if you can, maybe you can, but I've never.
Right. Yep.
So this is fantastic, and this is modern, all carbon fiber with the S35 VN steel on this. So
Sure.
great. I just love it. It feels good in the hand. But I also, when we were over in Europe, I fell in love with traditional European blades, and I got this.
Oh yeah,
This is a beautiful, beautiful knife here.
it is. Is that bone
It is a bone handle, genuine stag.
or stag? Yeah.
Yeah, genuine stag. Yeah, it's not bone. It's real stag, and this is a Cudaman Spanish made, and it is the
Okay.
shovel lock. But check out the clip point on this one. Like, is that wicked or what? Right?
That is a clip point, isn't it?
that is
Yeah.
that is clip. Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
And it has the shovel lock. I did do a review on this one, but this is such a neat locking device. You just push this up, and it releases the blade, and then you put it back. Right? So
Neat.
that's fantastic knife.
I'm gonna have to check that review out. I don't think I saw that one. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's the Cudaman. That's the only Cudaman I own. I did pick up again a single bladed Mazarin made in Italy. I picked this one up in Italy, and then again, this is a single bladed folder.
Yep.
That's the way to go, is the one blade, and this is a good size, good working knife. This would be, I guess, their version almost of a sod buster, except it has
I was
the
I
weed.
was gonna say even that Buck Saunter has the appearance of the lineage of a sod buster almost, if that makes sense.
So Tom, I'm gonna bring one more up here
Yep.
for these. So this one, again, I went to the Historical Arms Society show, and this was the big show. They have an annual show. They have monthly shows, and then they have an annual show, and there's just tons of vendors there, and there's all kinds of products. But I found this K-bar. This is a K-bar folding knife, genuine bone handle, and it's a dog's head shield on there.
Oh, nice.
And this just caught my eye. It was in a case with a bunch of other K-bar folding two blades, but this one is a clip point, mirror polished.
Yep. Yep.
And couldn't figure out what model it is. I looked and looked and looked, and it says K-bar, Orleans, New York.
Yeah.
There is a number on the tang here, and I searched and searched and searched for that model number. What it turns out is the previous owner of this knife was a member of the K-bar Collectors Club, and
Oh, okay.
that
Yeah.
was his member's number.
Oh, okay.
It's not a model number at all. I believe maybe he had this custom made.
Probably.
The lockback, right?
Yep.
This tremendous knife, and I picked that up for $50.
Oh, that's a steal.
Absolutely. So I have no idea what the value is. I don't think I would ever get rid of that knife because it's just too pretty.
Yep.
You know. So, and I don't have a lot of K bars. You know, I did sell my fighting K bar, but I have a Becker, a little neck knife, the Becker Escobar, which was a collaboration between Becker and SE Knives.
Mm-hmm.
Little neck knife, and that's a fantastic knife. And I do have as well this little Dozier K-bar Dozier folder. It's just a knife, but it does its job when I need it. You know,
Sure.
An orange handle. I'm a fan of the orange handles. When I hunt, I like to be able to find my
Mm-hmm.
knife.
Yeah, I got a buck 112 Slim Select.
Yes,
That's the blaze orange, and I love that knife. It's a good EDC knife.
absolutely. Like, I carried that 450 for 20 years in my pocket, and the knife I replaced it with finally was the 112 Slim Select.
Yep.
Because it is just made to work.
It is. It really is.
Put it in my vest pocket. I'd be driving my truck for 12 hours a day, and this was in my pocket at all times. So
yeah. Terrific. Well,
So,
I'll tell you what, Pete, time goes fast here, and it's been terrific chatting with you.
it has.
I want you to just talk to the audience and tell them whatever you'd like to hear about your channel and your likes or dislikes, the fun you've had with YouTube, the frustrations you may have had with YouTube, but just talk to the audience here and let them get to know you a little bit here.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So, I did, like I said, I only owned basically one knife for 20 years there. And then as things happened, we talked about, I discovered the world of online knife stores, and I bought another knife, and then I bought another knife. And that's how it happened for me anyhow. Next thing you know, I got 80 knives, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I try not to spend a lot of money. I remember that that buck we talked about, my first video, that was from Copper and Clad, and it was a red micarta S30V steel 119, and that was the most expensive knife I'd ever bought in my life, and that was $140 and I thought, what am I doing? This is crazy, right? But I love that. Fantastic. And since then, my taste has got a little more expensive, which I think is what happens when you collect. And as far as my experience with YouTube, I haven't had many frustrations. There's, I get comments once in a while where, I don't appreciate them, but I always answer with, thanks for taking the time.
Yep, exactly.
Take the time to comment, whether I agree with that comment or not. Everybody's entitled to an opinion.
Yep.
So usually it's towards the knife. I did my videos. I don't do a lot of demos with my knives. I try to once in a while. I'll cut paper mostly, but I'm not like some guys where I'll go out and cut down a tree or process a bunch of wood. I have done a couple of those, but I get comments like, when are you going to cut something?
Yeah,
I
know.
Bars. I said, I've cut things all the time, but I put Band-Aids over them, right? So, but mostly my experience, Tom, has been fantastic.
Great.
I've learned how to post videos. I didn't know how to do that. I have teenage children, so they help me a lot with that, right?
That always helps, doesn't it? Yeah.
Well,
they know more about it than we do.
That's right. And I get to communicate with other people that are like-minded.
Mm-hmm.
And, for the most part, the knife community is very gracious and kind, generous people, and always willing to pass on knowledge, or like this knife that we're sending across the country. Like, who does that? I'm just going to spend my hard-earned money and I'm going to mail it in a mail to some person I've never met before, and trust they're going to do the same once they're done with it.
Right. Yep.
That's fantastic, and I can't wait for it. So Tom, I really appreciate you letting me be a part of the chat today. And how's the weather down there? I know it's really hot here right now.
It's been fairly good for a July.
Yeah.
I think next week it's supposed to get warmed up though. Get up into the 90s or maybe mid to high 90s next week. So that August heat and humidity's coming. Yeah.
Absolutely. Our country is on fire right now. There's a lot of fires up here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're we got the hazy skies to prove it.
Yeah.
We got all that smoke down here. So yeah. Well, listen, it's been fantastic to be able to meet you here, Pete. It's been a pure delight to have this conversation. Just wanted to be able to greet you into the knife community, welcome you, let everybody know. Please go over to Knice Slice's channel, watch some of his content. I think you'll agree with me. It's fantastic. Hit that subscribe button. Help him out. Let's the a rising tide raises all boats. So as the more channels that are successful, it is better for the knife community. It's better for the viewer. Um, as you get subscribers, as you get comments and likes on the videos, it gives motivation to do more videos. And every channel out there that I'm, associated with or have gotten to know about, they're all working their tails off to try to provide the best content they can for you, the viewer. So, on behalf of Pete, we thank you, the viewers and the subscribers, for all of your support. And until next time, have a very delightful day. We'll see you, Pete.
All right. Thanks, Tom. See ya.